He left me in a place built on chance and called it my fault. By the time I realized what she had already signed in my name, the damage was done. This isn't a story about luck. If you've lived through something similar, tell your story in the comments. The diner never closed. That was the only reason I ended up there, sliding into a cracked vinyl booth with a cup of coffee I didn't order and a receipt I didn't need. The waitress told me 10 minutes and forgot about me. The call came before the battery hit 5%. This is First Desert Bank. We're calling to verify a transaction from your joint account. Her voice stayed flat, trained. A wire transfer was initiated an hour ago. 6 figures. We need confirmation. I asked her to repeat the amount. She did slower this time. I'm not sure I said. I didn't authorize anything tonight. A pause. Keyboard clicks. Understood. I'll mark this as pending verification. We'll need a follow-up. The line went dead. The screen lit again. Messages stacked up fast. Did you guys fight? Rachel said you walked off. Everything okay? I didn't answer. The waitress dropped the check anyway. Someone had paid it, not me. Across the counter, a man about my age stirred soup he wasn't eating. He glanced over, then back down. No curiosity, just habit. Another vibration, this one from work. My supervisor didn't waste time. HR forwarded something weird, he said. Legal notice. Your name's on it. Says it's personal, but it came through the company email. I asked him to forward it. An insurance carrier logo filled the screen. Subject line: change of authorized financial representative. Effective immediately. I read it twice, then a third time. Anything else I should know? He asked. Not yet, I said. Okay. Keep me posted. He hung up first. The man at the counter finally spoke. You sound like someone just found out their signature still works when they're not around. I looked over. Excuse me? He nodded toward my phone. Authorization problems usually come in pairs. One person signs, the other finds out later. What's that supposed to mean? He shrugged. Means if you didn't sign today, someone else probably did. The waitress brought my phone back. Battery full. No apology. The man slid a business card across the counter without looking at me. Luis Moreno. I didn't pick it up. Not asking you to call me, he said. Just telling you what I learned too late. I waited. Marriage accounts don't get emptied overnight, he continued. They get prepared, slowly, paper by paper. So what are you saying? I asked. He stood pulled on his jacket. If you didn't sign today, he said someone else is signing for you. He left before I could respond. The phone buzzed again. Rachel this time. Why are you making a mess? She asked, like we were discussing groceries. I got a call from the bank. And an insurance notice. A short laugh. I cleaned things up. You always said paperwork stressed you out. By changing representatives, you're overreacting, she said. Don't turn this into something ugly. The line went dead. I opened my calendar. Canceled the ride home. Booked another night near the Strip. Cheap room. No view. The waitress topped off my cup without asking. The phone lay face down on the table, still warm from the charger. My ride wasn't due for another 20 minutes. Time stretched in small, useless pieces. The bank called again. This is a follow-up regarding the earlier transaction, the same voice said. We're still missing confirmation. Put it on hold, I said. I haven't reviewed the details yet. Understood, she replied. I'll note pending response. Keys clicked. A process moved forward, whether I was ready or not. Messages kept coming. Different numbers. Same tone. Everything okay? Rachel said you left her. Call me. No one asked where I was. No one asked why she drove off. The phone rang a third time. Work this time. Hey, Michael, my supervisor said. Quick question. HR forwarded something odd. He paused, waiting for permission that never came. A legal notice came through the company email. Mentions your name. Says it's personal, but compliance wanted to flag it. What kind of notice? Financial? Insurance, I think. They didn't read past the header. Forward it, I said. Seconds later, the email landed. Subject line in bold. A carrier I recognized. An attachment marked effective immediately. Change of authorized financial representative. Rachel's name sat there typed clean and centered. You want to talk about it? He asked. Not yet. All right. Just letting you know before it turns into noise. The call ended. The diner kept moving around me. Plates clinked. Someone laughed too loud near the register. A chair scraped back across the floor. The man from the counter slid into the booth across from me without asking. Looks like you're getting audited by your own life, he said. That's so insurance notices don't travel alone, he replied. They bring friends. I folded the phone and set it down. Luis, he added, tapping the card he'd left earlier. Didn't mean to pry. Hard not to hear bank calls in places like this. Do you always comment on strangers' problems? Only the ones I've already paid for. He waited. Silence didn't make him uncomfortable. My ex-wife moved faster than I thought possible, he went on. Didn't steal, didn't forge, just used what I gave her. What did you give her? Time? Trust, signatures. I didn't answer. Ever sign something and forget about it? He asked. Everyone has. That's the gap, he said. That's where things change hands. The phone buzzed again. Rachel. Why didn't you answer the bank? She asked. No greeting. They called twice, and I told them I hadn't reviewed anything. A breath on her end. Controlled. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I got an insurance notice. That's routine. It lists you as the representative. So that wasn't discussed. You hate paperwork, she said. You told me to handle it. I told you to file it. Same thing. The line stayed open. No one filled the space. Don't drag other people into this, she added. My sister already thinks you're unstable. I haven't spoken to anyone. She said you abandoned me. Did she? You left me at a casino? Rachel said. What would you call that? The call ended before I could respond. Luis leaned back. She always talks in circles, only when she wants something done. Then she's already doing it, he said. The waitress dropped a check. Again already paid. Your turn, she said, pointing at the door. Ride's here. I stood, hesitated, then sat back down. Change of plans, I said. Another coffee. The waitress shrugged and refilled the cup. Luis watched without comment. You staying? He asked. One more night. Good. For what? So you can read before you react. What if it's already too late? He stood again, pulling on his jacket. Late is when the account's empty, he said. This is still early. He slid the card closer. If you didn't sign today, he added, someone else is signing for you. He walked out. The bell over the door rang once, then stopped. I opened the calendar app, canceled the ride, booked a room nearby, budget hotel. No questions asked. The confirmation email arrived right away. Another alert followed. Bank again. This time automated. Account activity pending review. I pulled every document I could still access. Old emails, attachments, anything with my name at the bottom. Morning crept closer without announcing itself. I stayed where I was, scrolling flagging forwarding files to a new folder labeled Vegas. The bank lobby opened with the same indifference it showed everyone else. A number printed from the kiosk landed in my hand. The wait took 7 minutes. The woman at the desk glanced at my ID, then the screen. How can I help you today? I need detailed statements, I said. Joint accounts. Past 12 months. Her fingers moved fast. There have been several large transactions recently, she said. All authorized. Authorized how? Through an existing power of attorney. She turned the monitor slightly, so I could see. Lines of transfers, dates, reference numbers. Nothing flagged. Nothing marked unusual. That document predates the activity, she added. Everything processed within scope. I want a copy. She nodded, printed, stapled. The packet slid across the counter. The signature sat at the bottom of the page. My name, my handwriting, a date from 4 years ago. That's mine, I said. I figured, she replied. Matches the ID on file. The paragraph above the signature caught my attention. Expanded authority, financial discretion, asset management. That wasn't there before. She leaned closer. Revisions were filed later, she said. Still valid. No revocation on record. So this lets her move money without notifying me. It allows the representative to act independently, she said. Within defined categories. Defined by who? The document, she answered, already losing interest. The phone rang as the papers went back into my folder. Rachel's name flashed. Are you done panicking yet? She asked. I'm at the bank. Of course you are. They're showing authorized transfers. As they should. You expanded the scope. I streamlined it, she said. You never read those things. Someone had to. Someone had to ask. You agreed, she replied. You signed. I signed 4 years ago. And trusted me, she said. Don't act surprised now. I want this paused. For what reason? Because it wasn't discussed. A sigh exaggerated. You're turning routine maintenance into drama, she said. We don't have time for this. Then make time. Silence. Then a softer tone. You're stressed, she said. Let me handle it. Like always. The call ended. The banker returned with a pen. Anything else today? Yes, I said. I need contact information for the compliance department. She printed another slip. Be aware, she said, lowering her voice, if you contest authority, accounts may be restricted. That's fine. She didn't comment. Outside, the heat pressed in without warning. I walked 2 blocks before stopping. Luis answered on the second ring. They printed it, I said. Let me guess, he replied. Your signature looks real. It is. And the language doesn't. Exactly. You call the attorney, yet I'm on my way. The office number went to voicemail. A minute later, an assistant returned the call. I'm sorry, she said. There's a conflict. We can't take this case. What conflict? Prior consultation. With who? I can't disclose that. The line went dead. Another alert hit my inbox. This one came from an investment firm. Subject beneficiary update confirmation. I opened it standing on the sidewalk. Rachel's name appeared again. Primary beneficiary. Effective immediately. I dialed. This is getting excessive, she said before I spoke. You changed a long-term fund. It's housekeeping. You didn't mention it. You didn't ask. That money wasn't for expenses. It's still ours, she said. Stop acting like I took it. You redirected it. For efficiency. Who's a pause? Short. Measured. You're spiraling, she said. I'm trying to protect us. By locking me out, by making decisions, she replied. Someone has to. The call ended without warning. The bank slip crumpled in my hand. I walked back, took a different entrance, asked for a manager. A man with a tight smile listened, nodded, typed. You can request a temporary hold on secondary accounts, he said. Smaller balances, precautionary, do it. He slid a form forward. This won't stop existing transfers, he added. Only future movement on specified accounts. That's enough. The pen scratched. Initials, signature, date. Anything else he asked? Copy everything. He nodded. The confirmation arrived by email before I left the building. Rachel texted less than 5 minutes later. What did you just do? Put a hold on one account. That was unnecessary. It was available. You don't trust me, she wrote. Paragraphs followed. Sacrifice, pressure, years of holding things together. The screen filled fast. I didn't reply. Another message came through from the bank. Compliance review initiated. I returned to the hotel, dropped the folder on the desk, opened my laptop. Forms stacked up on the screen. Some familiar, others not. A new email arrived from the bank manager. Request for comprehensive review of all active powers of attorney. Signature required. The call from work came before I finished dressing. "Can you come in this morning?" the HR manager asked. Her tone stayed professional but careful. "We received a verification request tied to your name." "What kind of request? Financial? Asset-related? It doesn't accuse anyone, but it asks us to confirm employment status and income history." "I'm on my way," I said. The drive to Henderson passed without traffic. That didn't help. HR had already printed the email when I arrived. The letterhead belonged to a law firm downtown. Formal language, neutral phrasing. My name appeared 3 times. "This came through compliance," the manager said. "They just want confirmation you work here and that the income matches the records. Did you send anything back? Not yet." "Please wait," I said. "There's a dispute in progress." She nodded, made a note, slid the paper into a folder. "Keep us informed," she said. "We don't need details." Back in the parking lot, my phone buzzed again. This time, no hesitation. A courier email. Attachment included. Rachel's attorney didn't waste space. The letter claimed all recent financial adjustments were made in good faith and in service of the family's shared long-term interests. It cited the power of attorney by date and reference number. The closing paragraph suggested cooperation to avoid unnecessary escalation. The timing wasn't subtle. Another alert followed before I could lock the screen. Retirement account update status changed. I called the number listed. "That account has been reclassified," the representative said. "Funds are no longer adjustable at your request." "Why not?" "There's an active dispute," she replied. "Until it's resolved, access remains limited. Limited how you can view balances. No transfers, no changes. So someone else changed it before the dispute." "That's correct. Can it be reversed?" "Not at this stage." I thanked her, hung up, sat there longer than planned. The hotel clerk recognized me when I returned. "Your guest is waiting," she said. Rachel stood near the window, arms folded, purse already on her shoulder. No surprise on her face. "You didn't answer my texts," she said. "I was at work. We need to fix this before it gets worse." She placed a folder on the desk, opened it, pointed. "Just sign here. Temporary authorization. It keeps things moving." "Moving where forward," she said. "You're blocking accounts. People are asking questions because things were changed without notice." "That's not true," she replied. "You knew. I knew paperwork existed. I didn't know it was being used this way." She exhaled sharp. "You're doing this out of spite. I'm doing it because my retirement account was locked." "That was strategic," she said. "You don't understand how these things work. Then explain." She didn't. Instead, the pen slid closer. "If you sign," she said, "this all slows down." "And if I don't?" Her jaw tightened. "Then the lawyers handle it. They already are." "Because you forced it," she said. "I was managing things. You were redirecting them. For us, for you," I said. She straightened, picked up the folder. "I won't beg," she said. "You want control? Fine, let them tear it apart." She headed for the door, paused. "You're not as helpless as you pretend," she added. "You just like acting above it." The door closed behind her. The room felt smaller after that. A message came through from the bank an hour later. "Account access update, joint primary account temporarily restricted pending review." I called immediately. "This is standard procedure," the agent said. "Both parties initiated actions. The system pauses to prevent further movement. How long?" "Until legal clarification." So nothing moves. Correct. What about bills manual exceptions may apply, she said. You'll need to submit requests. Requests to whom? Our review team. And how long does that take? She paused. It varies. I ended the call and sat on the edge of the bed, phone in hand. Notifications stacked without mercy. A missed call from my sister, 2 texts from my mother, 1 voicemail marked urgent. Another email from the attorney arrived. Shorter this time. Please confirm receipt. Further action pending your response. The idea of staying silent had worked once. Years ago. It didn't fit anymore. I opened my laptop, pulled up the list Luis had mentioned earlier. Independent counsel. No shared history. No friendly overlap. 1 number rang. Then another. The 3rd picked up. Law office, a woman said. I need help reviewing financial authority documents, I said. Today. Any existing counsel? Yes, I said. On the other side? She paused. Can you come in this afternoon? Yes. The bank's message arrived before breakfast. All joint accounts remain restricted pending review. No timeline, no appeal link. Just a reference number and a phone tree that led nowhere useful. The hotel charged my card for another night. The payment failed. A second attempt went through after the clerk split the charge between 2 accounts, both capped. She didn't comment. Her screen told her enough. A text came from the bank a few minutes later. Daily spending limit adjusted. The number looked like something meant for groceries, not a city that ran on fees. Luis answered on the first ring. I need a favor, I said. How much enough to get through the day? Come by, he said. No speeches. He met me outside a coffee shop near the courthouse. Cash changed hands quickly like we were late for something else. Pay me back when this ends, he said. If it ends. It will, he replied. One way or another. The law office sat between a tax preparer and a bail bonds place. No sign outside, just a number on the door. The attorney introduced herself, shook my hand, and asked for everything. Documents spread across the table. Powers of attorney, account summaries, emails with headers stripped down to dates and sender names. She read without reacting. This expansion clause, she said, tapping one page, is broad. I didn't notice it. You signed below it. Yes, that matters. So it's valid. It is, she said, legally sound. What about consent you gave it? She replied. Just not recently. The room stayed still. No comfort offered. You handed over authority years ago and never took it back, she continued. No oversight, no limits. I trusted her. That's not a legal category, she said. My phone lit up. Family group chat, missed calls, voicemails stacking. She glanced at the screen. You can answer that if you want. No, I said. A message from my mother followed anyway. This doesn't need to be ugly. Call your wife, fix it, then my sister. She's been under a lot of pressure. You know that. Then Rachel, a long text, paragraphs, years listed like invoices, sacrifices named and numbered, a reminder of who handled what while I focused on work. The attorney waited. I'm not responding, I said. Good, she replied. Anything you say now becomes leverage. What happens next? She leaned back. We can challenge usage, she said. Not the document, the pattern. Meaning if funds were used outside shared interests, she explained, we look closer. Not to punish, to rebalance. How far back? 5 years, she said. Minimum. That's a lot. It's invasive, she said. And expensive and risky. Yes. My phone rang again. This time an unknown number. Michael, a voice asked. Yes. This is Rachel's attorney. I have counsel. I'm aware, he said. We're reaching out to discuss resolution. Through lawyers. This could stay private, he added. Avoid complications. You already contacted my employer. That was procedural. So is this, I said. The line disconnected without argument. The attorney made a note. "They'll push reconciliation," she said. "It protects the document. What if I don't want that?" "Then we stop protecting feelings," she replied, "and start following money." Another message came in. Rachel again. "You're humiliating us." I turned the phone face down. "Family will try to mediate," the attorney said. "They always do. They already are." "Let them," she said. "Just don't negotiate through them." The meeting wrapped with a checklist, accounts to request, institutions to notify, a timeline that felt optimistic. Outside, the day kept moving. The hotel clerk asked for payment at checkout. Another partial authorization went through. Barely. I sent Luis a message thanking him. No reply. He never acknowledged gratitude. The bank called once more. "Manual expense requests are pending," the agent said. "Please be advised, approval is not guaranteed." Understood. "Do you have alternative funds?" "Yes," I said. "For now." Another call followed. My mother again. "Rachel says you're letting strangers dig through your marriage. They're lawyers. That's worse," she said. "You're airing everything." "I didn't start this." "That doesn't matter," she replied. "You're supposed to stop it. I can't," I said. A pause. "Then you're choosing this," she said. The line went dead. Back at the hotel, the attorney emailed a draft authorization request. Short, clinical, no emotion allowed. "Please confirm to proceed with a full forensic review of financial activity over the past 5 years." The cursor blinked. Another text from Rachel arrived shorter this time. "Think about what you're destroying." I forwarded the message to my attorney without comment. The response came quickly. "Once we begin," she wrote, "there's no partial retreat." The first spreadsheet arrived before noon. Not from the bank, from my attorney. Rows of dates, amounts, destinations. Nothing highlighted, no commentary. Just data laid out without apology. The pattern showed up by the third page. Transfers spaced weeks apart. Always below thresholds that triggered alerts. Always routed through accounts I recognized, then forwarded again within hours. Household expenses don't move like that. I called the attorney. "You're seeing it too," she said. Not a question. "Where does it go after the second step to a company registered in Nevada?" she replied. "LLC, clean filings, no flags. Who owns it?" "That's the part we're still confirming." Luis helped with that. He called back an hour later. "Name's familiar," he said. "Friend of Rachel's. College connection. They lost touch, then reconnected a few years ago." "How sure are you?" "Enough to say it's not coincidence," he replied. "That company exists to hold something, or hide it." The attorney stayed cautious. "Using shared funds for personal investment isn't automatically criminal," she said later that afternoon, "especially under broad authority. But it's not family spending." "No," she agreed. "It's not." "So what is it?" "An argument," she said. "Not a conviction." The phone rang again before I could ask more. Court notification. Subject line blunt. Emergency motion filed. Rachel's attorney claimed financial coercion, alleged intimidation, requested temporary judicial oversight of all accounts. I read it twice. Threatening behavior, I asked my attorney. "They're reframing your controls as abuse," she said. "It's a common move." "Does it work? Sometimes. What happens now?" "A judge decides whether to freeze more assets," she replied. "Or all of them." Another message came in from the bank. Additional accounts placed under review pending court guidance. The net tightened without warning. Luis called again. "She's not backing down," he said. "No," I replied. "She's speeding up." "People do that when timelines close," he said. Rachel didn't call. She sent a message instead. Short. Precise. "You've crossed a line." I didn't respond. The attorney requested a meeting before the hearing. Papers spread across the table again. this time with markers, circles, arrows. We can push further, she said. Request subpoenas, trace end use, and then this stops being private, she replied. Banks, courts, possibly regulators. What's the risk? You lose leverage, she said. And you may trigger consequences you can't control. Criminal. Not necessarily, she said, but damaging. To who? Everyone, she answered. The choice sat between lines of text. Rachel's claim painted me as unstable, overreaching, vindictive. My evidence showed redirection, self-interest, quiet preparation. Neither told the full story yet. Another call came through. My sister this time. She's saying you're trying to ruin her, she said. That you're freezing her out. I froze accounts after discovering unauthorized transfers. She says you knew. I knew documents existed, I replied. Not how they were used. You should talk to her, my sister said. This is getting ugly. It already is. A knock interrupted the call. Hotel housekeeping. I declined service without explanation. The attorney watched the exchange without comment. Family pressure will increase, she said. It always does. What do you recommend? She tapped the spreadsheet. We proceed carefully, she said, step by step. Document everything. And the hearing. We respond, she replied, with facts. What about the company? We request disclosures, she said. Formal ones. Rachel's attorney sent another email before we wrapped. They accuse you of retaliatory financial restriction. My attorney replied once. No emotion, no adjectives. Actions taken followed compliance protocol pending review, the bank called that evening. Due to ongoing proceedings, the agent said several accounts will remain inaccessible. How many most? For how long? Until resolution. I ended the call and sat with the phone in my hand, watching the screen dim. Another text from Rachel arrived, this one longer. She wrote about trust, about betrayal, about how control had always scared her. She didn't mention the company, didn't mention the transfers, just feelings framed as facts. The attorney read it when I forwarded the message. She's building narrative, she said. Not defense. What does that mean? It means she's preparing for impact, she replied. Louise sent a final note for the day. Found more links, nothing illegal yet, but deliberate. I typed back a single word. Thanks. The night settled into paperwork. Responses drafted, motions reviewed, deadlines marked. Every step forward carried weight. My attorney closed her folder at last. From here on, she said, every move costs something. The authorization went out before noon. My attorney didn't dramatize it. She attached the full packet, added a cover page, and filed it with the civil court clerk. Receipts came back in batches. Case number assigned. Hearing window scheduled. That's it, she said. We're on record. The court's first response arrived the same afternoon. Order to disclose sources, destinations, and purposes of funds moved under the authority. 30 days. No extensions. Rachel's name appeared on the notice. So did the LLC. Banks reacted faster than people. First Desert Bank froze outbound movement on any account linked to her authority. The investment firm followed within hours. The insurance carrier flagged policies for review and suspended changes until further notice. My phone rang with a different tone now. Compliance departments asked for confirmations, not accusations, just checklists. Yes, that's my employment status. No, that transfer wasn't household expense. Yes, I'll submit documents. The noise that had filled my phone all week thinned out. Family chats went silent. Missed calls stopped coming. No more advice, no more instructions to fix it. Rachel called once. The line stayed open for 3 seconds before she spoke. They took my access. Temporarily, I said. You did this, the court did. You could have stopped it. So could you. A breath sharp. You're enjoying this, she said. No, I replied. I'm responding to it. She hung up. The bank restored my login credentials by the end of the day. Limited, at first, then broader. Balances appeared without warning, like someone had lifted a sheet. Control came back in pieces. The retirement account followed after compliance cleared the freeze. Viewing access first, then movement. The confirmation email arrived without ceremony. Authorized user reinstated. My attorney called right after. Her authority is suspended, she said. No transactions permitted. For how long? Until the court decides otherwise. What about the company? Separate track, she replied. State regulators opened an inquiry. Luis sent a short message. 2 partners backed out, he wrote. They don't like attention. I didn't ask which partners. The answer didn't matter. Rachel's attorney sent one more email that evening. Short. Neutral. We acknowledge receipt of the court's disclosure order. No apology, no explanation. Work settled into a strange calm. HR closed the inquiry with a single note thanking me for cooperation. My supervisor didn't bring it up again. Meetings went back to logistics and deadlines. At the hotel, the clerk smiled when the card processed without splitting. Looks like it went through, she said. Good, I replied. Dinner happened without planning. A place near the courthouse. Cheap. Fast. The phone buzzed again while I waited for the check. My mother this time. They're saying lawyers are involved, she said. Is it that bad? It's formal, I answered. Rachel sounds shaken. She lost access, I said. She's your wife. That didn't stop the transfers. A pause stretched. You could still call her, my mother said. Clear the air. The court asked for documents, I replied. Not conversations. She didn't argue. That felt new. The preliminary ruling arrived 2 days later. Temporary suspension of authority upheld. Disclosure required. No finding on misconduct at this stage. My attorney forwarded it without comment. This changes posture, she said when we spoke. They'll either comply or escalate, and if they escalate, then we keep filing, she replied. Steady. Rachel didn't call after that. Her messages stopped entirely. The group chats stayed empty. Silence settled without announcement. Another notice came from the bank. Account restrictions lifted for primary holder. I logged in and set new permissions. Short list. No shared authority. Alerts turned on. Luis called that evening. You look different on paper now, he said. That matters. How so systems respond to clarity, he replied. People too. The company tied to Rachel missed its first disclosure deadline. An extension request followed. Denied. A week later, a second notice arrived from the state. The final order arrived without ceremony. No hearing. No call from the clerk. Just a stamped document uploaded to the case portal, time-marked and effective immediately. Rachel's authority was revoked in full. Permanent. No appeal window noted. Access to joint assets reassigned. Control restored to primary holder. Limits defined. Oversight removed. Criminal referral declined. At my request. The language stayed clinical. Findings of misuse recorded. Pattern established. Documentation retained indefinitely. I read it once. Closed the file. Didn't reopen it. My attorney called later that morning. This is as clean as it gets, she said. You asked for containment, not punishment. That stands. She won't have access again, the attorney continued. Not through banks, not through proxies, and contact only through counsel, she replied. If required. The call ended. No congratulations offered. Rachel didn't reach out. Her attorney sent a brief acknowledgement 2 days later, confirming compliance with the order. Nothing more. Luis noticed before I said anything. She vanished, he said over lunch. Accounts closed, partners walked. That company's being unwound. That was expected. People are asking questions, he added. They can. Family stopped calling, not abruptly, gradually. Messages slowed, topics shifted. Weather, work, neutral ground. My mother asked once if I planned to reconcile. No, I said. She didn't press. Paperwork filled the next week. Revocations, confirmations, old authorizations terminated line by line. The bank manager thanked me for patience. Compliance closed its review, insurance policies reverted, beneficiaries corrected. A form letter followed each step stamped and dated. A portion of the recovered funds went elsewhere. The scholarship trust required more signatures than expected. Independent board, external oversight, clear language, no family clause. The attorney raised an eyebrow when I asked for it, drafted that way. I don't want this reattached later, I said. She nodded and adjusted the terms. Back at work, no one mentioned the case. My supervisor handed me a stack of routing issues and asked if I could stay late. Sure, I said. No bonus. No warning. The schedule resumed as if nothing had happened. That felt right. The hotel refunded the last disputed charge. The credit posted without comment. I packed light. Didn't check out early. No reason to. At the airport, the ticket agent scanned my pass and handed it back. Have a good trip. Thanks. The seat assignment stayed the same as booked. Middle row, aisle. A text came through while boarding. Luis again. You did what you had to, he wrote. I didn't reply right away. The plane pushed back on time. Safety instructions played. Bags stowed. No announcements beyond routine. As the wheels lifted, the phone went dark. I thought about calling Rachel, just once. Not to explain. Not to argue. The idea passed. The flight leveled out. A drink cart rolled by. I declined. When the device powered on again, there were no new messages waiting, no alerts, no requests for confirmation. I opened the calendar and blocked out the next 2 days. No meetings, no calls, a short trip, one bag, no itinerary worth sharing. The ground crew waved as the plane reached the gate. I stood, stepped into the aisle, and moved forward with the line. Outside transportation signs pointed in every direction. I picked one and kept walking.